conversation. I want to take the time out to say thank you, God. Thank you, angels. Thank you, ancestors. We have topics, titles, thunders, and truths. Hopefully, you got your tea, your coffee, your soda, or whatever kind of beverage you like of your choice, or swallow. All right, high vibes. I thought we would do a John George Jr. John George Jr. John George Jr. Betty Sinclair, joking him on Wooddale streets. John George Jr. John George Jr. joking him and Sheba. We would do one, but I did pull a title, and the title is "Stop Using Women to Look Good." It's been a little minute. Excuse me. It's been a little minute since we done a John George Jr. Read. So let's do it. All right, so yeah, I do that sometimes. I get quiet. We have a moment of silence sometimes. All right. So yeah, stop using women to look good. So we're doing a John George Jr., Betty Sinclair type of read. So in other words, we have a character of somebody that was, I'm guessing, in a relationship, hop from relationships to relationships because the title is "Stop Using Women to Look Good." Okay. So yeah, I want to get us a story in. Okay. Let's see what we like with. Now, this stuff is spontaneous always, y'all. And I thought I was going to be able to see, but I can't see. So, see on this late evening. Okay. So, stop using women to look good. Okay. So, revealing the secrets or whatnot. They had a vision for you or whatnot. I don't know. The game stopped with you or something like that. If you're connected to this situation or whatever, or they scouted out, they look for confident individuals or whatever. And that's just a side note because we had some cards that just plopped out. Okay. So they look for confident individuals and they seek out to get them in a vulnerable situation, trust them or whatnot. So then that way they can critique every little thing about them to adjust them. And it's like a secret God complex play that they did or whatever to their praise or whatnot. Let me see how far they'll let me go, how deep they'll go with me, so I'll be able to study them, and then I can use what I learned about them as tackling fuel. I don't know. It's giving like somebody that done things like this is giving me like a scenario of like gaslighting or whatnot, like manifest like some type of bait, like it's like I'm gonna take you out on a date, or I'm gonna take you to go do all these grand great things. I guess we're just using a date as an example, but I'm gonna take you to go do all these great grand things, but one night only. That's all they have to spare, and you still waiting to get back to that one night only, and then before you know it, like 6 months, a year, or something like that, or time has passed or whatnot, and you're looking up You finally get time to look up and breathe and smell the roses and realize that this one night only ain't never coming again. It's giving that type of vibe right now. Once they latched on to you or whatnot, or on to these women that have been used for this person to look good. Once they latched, that's what they were doing, the latching to get you vulnerable. I'm hearing that, a lot of vulnerability, get you vulnerable so that you believe what I tell you. And then that's you only gonna believe what I tell you is the vibe that I'm getting. And you had your own mind in the first damn place, and then for some reason or whatever, high vibes for you, um, you just had too much mouth, too much mind, too much whimsy, too much light, too much authenticity for this person's liking or to this person's liking. Is a vibe that I'm getting, like, can't put you in a cage, at all. So, how can I use other things to, because now it's time to sabotage you and get you out the way, because you were supposed to fall in line just like the others, and since you are one of the golden tickets or whatnot, and you're not gonna fall in, that's gonna mess up my plan because I use women to look good. hmm This is in the mind of this person. So let's see what else that comes out with this John George Jr. Betty Sinclair storyline. Yeah. Um, they go out and scout. They took a pledge. Could be, you could put any title on it. A he-man woman hater, and they took a vow, and that's what they do. They get them wrapped up. They test them with little skills, see how vulnerable they want to get into your emotions and your feels, and then they want to study your mind, and then they want to mute your communication or whatnot, and then they want to put you where they want to put you. hmm Okay. I mean, they just saw you as a golden star, prophet. This is how they were trained to look at individuals, women, as prophet. Um, Not admiration. And then it turned into irritation because the whole goal was to break them. You're supposed to be broken in, and you didn't get broke in like the rest of them. They done this many, many times, many lifetimes, many, many times in this lifetime, just many, many times. They're only there for a good time, not for a long time. They're there to scout out weak willed individuals, break them for the devil, in other words. And you pissed them off. You pissed them off because, you know, you broke the curse on others, you know, their little spell, trickery, or whatever you want to call it. It's broken. So I don't have anything to breadcrumb with. It's a falsified love, and people can see and smell and the stain. Mm-mm, I can smell the stain. Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Narcissist, and you broke Jish or something like that, because none of the people, the individuals that, um, it's like being somebody's one two of an assassin or something like that. That's the vibe I'm getting to, and tricking the game. tricking the trickster. Okay, tricking the trickster, pimping out the pimp, playing, you know, or something like that. Instead of using your spiritual gifts for dark, spiritual gifts for darkness, manipulation or whatnot. Play games with people's intelligence, and it pisses them off because you don't. You choose not to be dark like this individual, this John George Jr. But not that I guess he's a falsified masculine. He dethroned himself when he decided to use his spiritual gifts for darkness. In other words, just dancing around that, like, wow, okay. So, yeah, this person is upset because you use your spiritual gifts for the light, for positivity. They use their spiritual gifts for negativity, for the dark, manipulation. Um, they were a secret enemy or something like that. Off because you exposed the truth by not being broken in. So you were supposed to keep this gig going or some type of gig or whatever because it made this masculine look like he was divine, but he's not. This is what it's given with our John George. Ooh, John George Jr., Betty Sinclair reading, but cards just flickered. This Knight of Cups is here with this Two of Cups here, confirming that the Two of Cups is already here twice. It's just showing that this all this person's games and gimmicks or whatever failed. And they're upset. They're very, 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 very upset because they use the wand to do this, and they also use emotions and feels to do this in a very manipulative way. And they're upset about it. Smugged or something. Peed off about it. I mean, upset, but it's okay. I mean, it's not okay because they're upset. Um, the exposure, you're supposed to fall in line like the rest of them or whatnot. Um, they feel like, oh, but yeah, the car is just. I mean, this person is mad. They're furious. But they use manipulation with the wand and emotions and feels. You know, they knew what they were doing. It is what it is, though. I want to see more. Let's see. Yeah, secrets have been revealed. The moon comes out. So I wanted to know, like, what's the problem? You see what I'm saying? Because you decided to not be involved in this cult, I guess, this group or whatnot. The secret is that they've been exposed, so now it makes it to where um, they know them as a dark pimp. Let's say that. They know that energy, they have a stain on it, I guess. The secrets have been revealed. The chariot is here, and the chariot is dark and light, you know. It's yin and yang in the flesh or whatnot. Do you speaking about it? You stepping off, you not being involved, especially when they use you as a tackling fuel. Oh, if you're like the collective, if the collective this, the collective that, but it was all just used as tackling fuel. They wasn't supposed to grow and then actually be inspired and be looking and wondering or whatever the case may be, and then use that, and then they supposed to be looked at like a god or the leader, or they're supposed to take their, you know, word for it. They're not supposed to take your word for it. And if you're breaking down by you not participating in this, how you do it, it's showing who this person really is. And even if the person badmouthed you as tackling fuel, it didn't matter because I feel like this person tried to use both tactics. They were talking great and grand, and then they went and switched up because they didn't have control over these women or whatnot. And that's exactly what it is because the Two of Swords came out in reverse. Mask off, blindfolds off. And that's why they're so pissed at you. If you would have just stayed down and listened, then I could have been the king god of all of this stuff. Yeah, if you would have just stayed down and listened, then I could have been the great whatever of all of this. Is undercover or whatever, and is ashamed of parts of themselves. I don't know. Yeah, they would have had all the holes. Is what I'm hearing with this Knight of Wands and this Eight of Cups sideways like that. If you wouldn't have stepped off, stayed down and listened, and went down with the program, and let me be the leader, then all the hoes would have listened. This comes out, but you had to be intuitive, because God is your. No need to explain what's under it. Okay. Then we got the devil here because they wanted tied to toxicity, like I am your God. You look to me for the answers. You don't go find the answers for yourself. This is this type of person, and it was all because they was harnessing feminine energy, divine feminine energy with trinkets and I don't know. It's this movie that has starring in it. One of the main characters. It's not Belly or anything like that. Um, but his name was King or whatever. But he would get women doped up, so he could be able to better control them. And it just gave me that vibe with this Seven of Cups. Then the Tower. They want to do the right thing. They want to transmute that energy. They don't want their divine energy being pulled in, and they feel like it's your fault because now you got them wanting to do the right thing like you doing the right thing, and they want to use their brain instead of giving brain. This is the vibe that I'm getting. Yeah. So it pisses this falsified masculine off because you do the right thing, they want to do the right thing, and they don't get to feed and harness off of no energy now. Or the pickings are getting very thin because waking up, waking up. We have the food here, and then we have the world here. I heard cycles. Um, not being able to complete a cycle or something. It goes back to that. Wow, wow, wow. And then whatnot. But whatever that comes out and whatever that's heard, you know what I'm saying, pertaining to this read. And what's for you is for you, and don't worry about the rest. Situation. This is somebody that plays codependent situationships to try to harness divine feminine energy. And they couldn't do that. It might have been fun for a short period of time, but it's not fun anymore. They're very upset with you. They feel some type of way about you because but like I said, I was trying to figure out why they was upset in the first damn place. Like if you're completely out of the situation, right? You stepped off. But because you followed your heart, your intuition, and did what God wanted you to do, what his ancestors taught you to do, that was the problem because it advised, it opened up the same thing to look to God. Instead of letting a nigga, a fuck motherfucker tell you what it is and what it ain't, what did God say to do? And God lives inside of us. So judgment here as well. So yeah, it shed a whole lot of things. Now the narcissist cannot reign. Just clearing out the rest whatever. And the pickings are slim as far as in them being able to play with individuals' minds, women's minds, or whatnot, so they can control the narrative, getting women to compete for some emotional security and some wang wang because that's what this person was using. They were using the wand and the cup, the possibilities, overly romanticizing. But the root is it was like a false sense of hope and a one hit wonder rush because you never got that same person that you got from the beginning. It was all a game and a gimmick to keep you on the wheel. The moon came out again. Its secrets revealed. It's all out. Her like wolves howling or whatnot. Wolves howling or whatever. So yeah, they could be warlocks, a group of warlocks that's pissed off because they like you're teaching my whore or something. Like what? Yeah, the Six of Pentacles comes out. So it's like using other ones as bait or whatever to attack you or whatever. Using other ones because they want to. If it's given like you hooked on drugs and I'm gonna make you do what I want you to do, but you got to do this first. So then that way I give you a hit to be a chaos of something. Two of them. Yeah, the Queen of Wands comes out. So messing with someone's beauty and confidence. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you act right, then you will get this. And it ain't no if you act right, if you get this, you ain't no puppy or no dog or no animal. You don't even talk to your fur babies like that or whatnot, you know. But it's just that in that term, it's intentional to control and break the mind. I want to bring you down, I want to pull off of your root chakra with the wands. I want to get you vulnerable with the emotions, the feels. So you'll feel more sentimental about how you talk to me, but I don't feel sentimental about how I talk to you. It's to break your confidence so you don't feel like you can speak up for yourself. You have to run it by me first. And I'm always controlling the wheel, but you're the one that's, supplying, giving all of it. But I gotta bring my mind is to use the wand and these emotions and feels. And you knew this. You are a master at this shit. They didn't know that because they try to do the same thing to you. You done fucked up the church's money just by being. You done fucked up the church's money with the 10 of Wands here. A whole lot of burdens. You done fucked up the church's money. Like, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. God said, just keep swimming. You said, okay, just keep swimming. It's a little hard, but just keep swimming. They ain't got shit to breadcrumb with. You messing up the church's money. Feminine energy, to harness. They need to pull off of that root chakra and those emotions and feels. They need that water. They thirsty, parched. These cups comes out. They need that water. They need that. They're parched. They need it. That's what I keep hearing. They need it. It's very psychotic to want to break somebody down in that way because they're weak. The things that they want to break is the things they don't have. So we know for sure they can't. The wand, as far as creating their own ideas, their own inspiration, they are enough. They don't really have it. So that's why they try to steal it. They don't have any emotion, security. They're not balanced inside. They don't feel secure enough to express themselves fully and show themselves fully or to be vulnerable at any point. So that's why I like it. You had enough. Like, shit. Queen of Swords comes out. Yeah, you had enough, and you could speak that shit too. You ain't gonna bite your tongue. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. You're not gonna pretend like the shoe fits just to make everybody else feel great and grand. Well, what about them toes? And you can manifest on your own, the whole shebang. You have your own dreams and have a strong mind. Not only can you communicate it, you can make things out of nothing and make it for yourself. And you just that it. They was up for the challenge, but lost in the sauce once they got in because you gave this person, this church, this cult, this whole situation, a run for their money. Yeah, you gave them a run for their money, and they had no choice. But it's just like honestly, openly winning a fight that you didn't even sign up, but got put into. But you won fairly, freely. You know, that's another reason they pissed off people that you spiritually whoop my. Page of Wands comes out in reverse. That's a message, right? But it's in around telling people that you spiritually whoop my ass. Nine of Swords here. The news, communication. Don't tell them you whoop my ass. 4 cups. Here, false advertisement or whatever. If they were supposed to, they was up for the job. 7 cups here. They was up for the job. So was God too, because God let it happen. Like I heard you fucking with the best of the best. 9 of Cups comes out the 2 of Pentacles. Undercover boss, but you fucking with the best of the best. High Priestess comes out again, and the Three of Wands comes out again. You know, spot on with the, we're listening to God. God say move left, move right, up, down, cha cha slide. That's how you moving. And you've been like that. And this person, people, whatever they were part of, still are baffled of this dark group, you know, not dark as in light and dark, but evil, but this evil group. Just got to give it to you straight, you know. John George, a part of this John George Jr., Betty Sinclair storyline, the John George Jr. or whatever about is a warlock and has been trying to take you down the whole entire time and been using all different types of tactics. Um, who they grouped up with see you as being more realistic than they punk asses, okay? So nobody openly gives you your flowers. You won. Enlist, you know. And their concubine ain't worth shit. You know what I'm saying? And they realize that if they want to be shit or be something, if you want to be somebody, you want to go somewhere, you gotta grow up and wake up and pay attention. You know. So, and they know that. I'm hearing sex ain't better than love. Mhm. And they know that now. They got to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? They got to know their worth or whatnot and stand on that shit and not let a motherfucker play with you and show you who they really are. We got these hobosexuals out here that try to play like they not like that. Not saying everybody, but you know the ones when you know the ones. And they try to play like they not hobosexuals, but that's the game and the gimme for you to let they dragon, zombie, vampire asses in, letting them step over your threshold. So then that way they can suck off your energy or whatnot. Then next thing you know, shit, your home is they home, your stuff is they stuff, and that's not even how it's supposed to go because they didn't come in with anything except for them. All of them. And they one of the family members now. All of a sudden. And it ain't supposed to be like and when you do get time to yourself to talk to God, guardians, ancestors, and whatnot, you get little clues about they asses being a hobosexual because it's giving hobosexual vibes all the way. Even though it's giving all these different things, it's also giving hobosexual. A motherfucker that don't have shit, don't have a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out of, but somehow your shit is they shit all of a sudden. And that ain't cool. You know, you work for that shit, and that's your shit. How in the fuck they get to have alteration to telling you what it is with your shit? And they got something to do with your draws and everything. You know what I'm saying? Your whole shebang. How the next motherfucker gonna tell you what to do with your stuff? You know, I heard Loretta Devine on Four Color Girls. I almost let him run off with all my stuff or whatnot is the vibe I got. You almost let him run off with all your stuff, but don't let him run off with all your stuff. Right? I got talk show, nosy. Ain't none of my business, but my coochie clean. Mm-mm. Fairy Godfather, you lie, you die. I don't know if that movie's called Long Kiss Goodnight. I don't know. I think it is. Money that you won't have to share. So this is all the things that was going on behind the scenes, throughout all this, because this is given like a period of 10, and I also heard 15 years, like a whole period in between of a 10, 15-year span of all this, I don't know, I guess like relationship goals, career goals, family goals, all these different categories, these different portals. So this is all the things that was going on behind the scenes. Like men, there were a nice amount of men that were a part of a warlock type cult thing, and they were hustling to get all in you. I guess you call them baby mamas and baby daddies or in-laws or whatever, because you got all these different titles. But this is what I'm getting, like all these times, whether you were in it, outside of it, isolated from it, however you played your part in this or whatnot, you just didn't fall under, right? This is what was going on behind the scenes with all the gassing and lying and making it seem like it was all great and grand and trying to make you feel less of yourself so they can break your confidence, break who you really are. They all was cheating on each other, and it was like sister wives and brothers of brothers over there. You know what I'm saying? And you were supposed to feel less confident. And the times that you wasn't included in some of those situations, it was always for your protection, right? You sexy, you should know. Let me tell you though. Oh, my juice in there is cold. I'm thirsty, y'all. Shit. Practicing your faith, sharing your blessings. Just because they motherfucking asses didn't believe that, it stop you from pushing forward. The fit might not have fit them. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's not your color. Don't trip. If it is high vibes color. It's not your lane. It's cool. Depressed, so they want the same thing for you. Sad people from day one, they saw your glow. Okay. So let's see if we can get you to devour yourself or whatnot. It was all just a learning period, right? While they was selling their souls, it was a learning period for you. Everybody knows the tricks and you can't win. And then wands of Moses' bloodline. Okay. They get high off you get mad and then fuse them when they can change your vibe power. So they do it. That goes back into them emotions and feels. Keep choosing you again and again. Try to flip the script on you. They F you and at least two others. Karmic, they don't make nothing. They build off of other people's throne. Lulu over there, like, what the fuck is going on? Can't have her baby daddy, so now she's gay. Relationship spells. Hope no one loves you. Thinking about you. Thinking about talking, vibing together. 25. Extra, extra. The breaking news. Angels have you covered. How are you? I think about talking to you. I think about you. Loving heart sits. Angels have you covered. 25. At least two others. Call it what you want. Can't call us broken. They They want to be with you, not them. God is going to show you how much love. Get ready. One poom poom, one ding dong over here, and life changes. Are you ready? Going to the top. Don't wait. Somebody is married, calling crazy. They have Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Call me water baby. So they play and gonna get played. You know this person. What they sent and wished for you is now following them everywhere. Dang. Overgive you things so you would trust them and think they care and love you, but they don't. Ha. They want to trap you. She is the one. Just don't want you, ho. Hanging out with bitches that don't have nothing going for themselves is bad for the credit. Use a hoe, use a hoe. My daddy says use. They have Capricorn Taurus in their chart. Hanging out with bitches that don't have nothing going for themselves. Over giving you things so you would trust them and think they care and love you, but they don't. Ha ha ha. Call me in water, baby. Don't waste your time. Truth, God first. Love angels. Stand firm. Love your kids with every best of you. You work hard for yourself. You lead with love. Oh, you're so handsome. Call me. So they played and gonna get played. Money spills. Hope you lose. Daddy issues. Calling your phone, messing with your day. They have Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo in their chart. So I'm just running this across y'all just to give you guys an idea of this John George Jr., Betty Sinclair, situation or whatever. They can't have their baby dad, so they fuck around. So it's giving like multiple situations that's going on over there that you're not involved in. And I'm not gonna drag this along, y'all. This is crazy.